$2,700 a month. That's the median salary of a fresh Polytechnic graduate according to a Polytechnic Graduate Survey of 2023. Is this amount enough to live decently in Singapore as a fresh-faced adult entering the workforce? To answer that question, I decided to do a realistic budget based on my current expenses to see if there will be any balance left for saving and investing. Spoiler alert, the amount left could be more than what you think it is. But before going to budget plan, you need to first deduct the relevant amounts for CPF contribution and for taxes. For CPF contribution, it's a straightforward 20% cut to the gross salary, meaning that you take home $2,160 per month. Taxes-wise, I had to group it into two groups, official income tax and the non-official clear priority tax. Assuming an extra annual wage supplement, which is commonly known as a 13-month salary, and no other bonuses, your total annual income will be $35,100. After accounting for the earned income relief and the CPF contribution relief, your taxable amount without any other additional reliefs will be $27,080. At this amount, your total payable annual tax will be $141.60 or $11.80 per month. Now moving on to the unofficial clear priority tax. For this, I'll reserve 10% of my net salary for my parents, which in this case is $216 per month. Now a hack or source that you can do is to contribute this amount to your parents' CPF account instead of giving them cash. This is perfect if your parents don't rely on monthly allowance for their daily sustenance. By topping up your parents' CPF accounts, you're entitled to tax relief to a maximum limit of $8,000 per year. This means that by topping up $216 per month, your tax relief for parents' CPF contributions will thus be $2,808. This thereby reduces your payable income tax per month to $7.12 instead. So after accounting for both CPF contributions and official and non-official taxes, you will be left with $1,936.88. Now we can start the budget plan proper by setting aside expenses or daily necessities. First on the list will be food. For this, I'll budget $20 per day to cover for all of my meals, which sums up to $620 per month. Adding on an extra $100 for meals during social gatherings and another $100 for miscellaneous groceries, the maximum budget for food and groceries per month will be $820. After settling food and groceries, next up will be transportation costs. For this, I'll budget $4 per day to cover for all my transportation needs via public transport. I also allocate another $50 to cover for the rare Grab rides here and there. This task works out the total of $174 per month. The last item on daily necessities list will be mobile data and internet fiber plan. For this, I'll budget $20 for SIM-only plan and another $50 for run-of-the-mill 1GB per second internet fiber plan. So adding everything up, your budget for daily necessities will be a maximum of $1,064. Which means you'll be left with $862.88. The next area to consider budget for will be for health and fitness. The first item on this list will be for insurance premiums. For value for money insurance portfolio, we refer to our previous video over here, where I highlighted how you can have a comprehensive insurance portfolio for as low as $70 per month in cash. As a brief summary, you ever only need 5 types of insurance: health insurance, or otherwise commonly known as hospitalization insurance, disability income insurance, critical illness insurance, personal accident insurance, and finally a term life insurance. After accounting for insurance premiums, I will then set aside another $100 for sports and fitness, which covers things such as gym memberships and also your workout classes. Thus for health and fitness, your total budget will be $170 per month. The last segment to budget for will be your bills and also entertainment expenses. For this, I'll budget around $200 per month. This will not only cover subscription plans such as Spotify Premium or Netflix, but also cover expenses such as watching a movie or going clubbing with your friends. It should also cover any utility bills that you are currently paying for. If you have no utility bills to pay, this budget will then reduce to $100 per month. So after accounting for all the related expenses, you should have a remaining amount of at least $500. While this amount may seem minuscule, it still represents about 23% of a net salary, which already exceeds the recommended 20% that conventional financial advice often advocate for. Furthermore, the previously discussed budget for the various segments is the maximum amount that you can spend per month. If you're financially responsible, or your parents account for some of your expenses, there's a high chance that you'll be spending way less, which also means there'll be more leftover amounts for saving and investing. Regardless, you could possibly have $6,000 in your bank account by the end of the first year in the workforce. If you save all of a 13-month salary, this amount will rise to $7,900 per month, which is really not too shabby at all. If a savings account that yields 3% per annum, you could be getting at least an additional $20 per month, starting from second year onwards. If you're looking to earn potentially higher payouts on your savings, check out my previous video over here, where I highlighted a roadmap that you can use to make your money work a little harder for you. Nevertheless, I'll still recommend at least 6 months worth of expenses saved up first, before starting your investing journey. As a whole, while $2,700 a month might not be much to a lot of Singaporeans, I think it's definitely enough for a fresh Polytechnic graduate to live decently in Singapore. This is especially true if you're not paying for any household expenditure and only have to spend on your own needs and wants. Thus, if you find yourself having almost no savings per month, perhaps it's time to do a financial audit on your expenses and figure out what you're overspending on. After all, it's always best to start a wealth accumulation journey early in your life.